At some point, money is going to land in your lap, not earned slowly, not a raise landed. A bonus much bigger than expected, an inheritance from someone you loved, a settlement, money from selling something, a tax refund that came back wrong in your favor, a job that finally paid what you were worth. For one strange year. Most people get one of these, maybe two in a whole life. And here's the thing almost nobody tells you. 18 months later, the overwhelming majority of that money is gone. And the person genuinely cannot tell you where it went. Not gambled. Not lost in some disaster. Just absorbed, dissolved into a life that quietly expanded to meet it. I want to show you exactly how that happens, the mechanics. Step by step, because the disappearance follows a pattern so consistent, it's almost a script. And once you've seen the script, it stops being able to run on you. Let's start with the first thing that happens. And it happens in the first week. The money doesn't feel real. Whatever amount it is, it arrives in a lump. And your brain has no category for a lump. Your brain has categories for monthly and weekly and what's in my account right now. A sudden sum sits outside all of that. It feels less like money and more like a score. A number on a screen you keep opening to look at. And because it doesn't feel real, it doesn't feel like it counts. You've spent your whole life carefully weighing $40 decisions. And now here's this thing that doesn't fit the system, so the system doesn't apply to it. That's the first crack, and it opens before you've spent a single dollar. Then comes the second thing, and it's the one that actually does the damage. You give yourself one purchase, and it's completely reasonable. You've been through something, a death, a job ending. Years of grinding, and you deserve one thing. So you buy it. Maybe it's a trip. Maybe it's the upgrade you've wanted for years. And here's the part that matters. You are right. You did deserve it. That purchase is almost never the mistake. The mistake is what it does to the number, because the moment you break into a lump sum, it stops being a monument and starts being a pile. Before, it was untouched sacred, in a strange way. Now it's in use. And a pile that's in use has a completely different relationship with your brain than one that isn't. The second purchase is much easier than the first. The third barely registers as a decision. Nobody wastes a windfall on the big purchase. They waste it on the 40 small ones that became possible after it. Quick thing, because the next stage is the one that actually eats the money, and it's the part nobody sees coming. If you've ever had money show up and quietly vanish, this channel is built for exactly that. Money Lens. Hit subscribe and stay to the end. The last section is what I'd want someone to tell me before the money landed. Now the third stage, and this is where most of it actually goes. The windfall doesn't get spent. It gets converted into a lifestyle. Here's what that means. You use some of it on things that don't just cost money once they cost money forever. A nicer place, which comes with a higher rent every month, permanently. A better car, which comes with a payment and higher insurance. A bigger everything, quietly attached to a monthly bill. You didn't spend the windfall. You spent it and signed up for a new baseline. And now your normal monthly life costs more than it did before the money arrived, except the money that made it possible is finite, and the bills it created are not. This is why people end up worse off after a windfall. Not the same worse. They upgraded their permanent costs using temporary money. And when the temporary money ran out, the costs stayed exactly where they were. That's the trap in one sentence. The money is a one-time event. The lifestyle it buys is a subscription. And there's a fourth thing, quieter than the rest, and it's the reason the whole cycle repeats. The windfall feels like a beginning. When the money arrives, something in you says, this is the start of a new phase. Things are different now. I'm someone who has money now. And that feeling, that identity shift, is what makes the spending feel not just okay but appropriate. You're not being reckless. You're living like the person you've apparently become. But a windfall isn't a beginning. It's a single event. Your income didn't change. Your earning didn't change. The only thing that changed is that a finite amount of money is temporarily sitting in your account, And the person you were last month is still the person doing the spending. 18 months later, the money is gone, and the identity has to go back. And that's the part that genuinely hurts. Not losing the money. Having to unbecome the person you briefly got to be. So what should you actually do when money lands? Here's the simplest version I can give you, and none of it requires you to be a financial expert. First, freeze it. Do nothing for 30 days. Not a plan, not a strategy, just a pause. Put it somewhere boring and don't touch it. The urge to act is at its absolute peak in the first week, and every bad decision in this whole story happens in that window. 30 days costs you almost nothing and diffuses almost everything. Second, take your one thing deliberately and in advance. Decide on a fixed amount for enjoying it. A small slice, chosen while you're calm, before you've touched anything. Then spend it and enjoy it fully with zero guilt. This isn't a reward for good behavior, it's the pressure valve. The people who try to be perfect with a windfall are the ones who crack and blow the whole thing, because no fun at all is not a plan a human can hold. Give it a size, and the rest stays safe. Third in this is the whole video, do not let it touch your monthly costs. Whatever you do with the rest, do not use one-time money to raise a permanent bill. Don't upgrade the rent. Don't take on a payment. The single most valuable thing a windfall can do is stay outside your lifestyle. Because the moment it's inside, it's gone and it's taken your future with it. And fourth, give the rest a job before your brain does. Money without a purpose gets absorbed by default. Money with an assignment doesn't. Debt gone. A real cushion. Something that grows slowly and gets left alone. It doesn't have to be clever, it has to be decided. Because the alternative isn't save it, the alternative is it disappears into 40 small purchases and a higher rent. Here's what I want you to actually take from this. The windfall isn't the opportunity. Everyone thinks it is. The windfall is just money. The opportunity is the 18 months after it, which is the only stretch of your life where you'll have a real gap between what you have and what you need. That gap is the rarest thing most people ever get. It's the raw material for a permanent change, and almost everyone converts it into a nicer 18 months instead, and then goes back to exactly where they were, having had the one chance and used it up on a slightly better year. You'll probably get one of these. You might have already had it. If you did, and it's gone, you're not stupid. You just didn't know the script was running. But if it hasn't come yet, then you've just been handed something better than the money. You've been told what happens before it happens. This is Money Lens. We show you what the money world doesn't say out loud.